Hello and welcome. This is a short review of the Dasberg X250 piggyback kit. Obviously, as you can see, it works alongside the well-known Chinese sandblasting cabinets, which we believe there's at least two versions of this particular cheap sandblasting cabinet that you can buy worldwide. There's the completely flat pack version that you have to bolt together and every panel is separate. And there's the version where the top cabinet and the lower cabinet are actually semi-welded in advance, and it takes less time to put together, but to be honest, there's not a great deal in it. Either way, the X250 kit under there fits onto both versions without any issue. So yeah, I'll just brief what's actually in the kit. So of course, you can see there's a front panel here with the air adjustment. This is your main air line in from your air compressor, a one-way valve, and obviously the air going this direction into the machine. So inside we have the nozzle, obviously all the piping, the plate filter at the bottom there for any debris to fall past the main grid here, which happens quite a lot. So this will capture all washers and nuts and any other nasty bits and pieces that are going to fall through. So obviously to prevent any nuts and washers going up into the pump itself. So yeah, so we offer the instruction on how to apply the lights to the main cabinet. There is a nice rubber seal that you need to place underneath this pre-existing rubber or plastic surround. So obviously the conversion to the actual power for the lights, it no longer goes inside but actually sits on the outside of the machine, because of course now we're dealing with a vapor blaster, not a sand blaster, so there's obviously water inside the machine, so we don't want any electrics inside any longer. At the bottom here, this is the mounting frame for the X250 and the pot itself, and it neatly fits up against the snout of the lower chamber. So at the bottom of the machine you have the X250 connected, mounted in to the pre-existing legs via 4 M8 bolts, one at the lower edge here and one higher up. And this is the main pot itself, obviously connecting with a nice thick rubber gasket inside here, so it prevents all the water and media from just continuously splashing out of the machine, so it provides a very nice seal. These gaskets are available from us should they ever wear out, but actually they're very hard wearing. We've never had to replace one as yet. Obviously a side gauge showing you the level of water that's required in the machine at any one time. Very useful bit of kit to have. And the water outlet here for when the water becomes just filthy and you want to change just the water but leaving the media inside, you can use this tap. And obviously the larger tap at the bottom is for the replacement of all the water and all the media should you want to wash it out entirely and replace the media with a different type for a different job. And at the top here, just the lid really to hold the actual pump in its place. And the reason for the two securing nuts here, these are to actually secure the pump inside the machine so it doesn't move around so much at the angle it's at, just to securing bolts for that. And obviously the wiring, one to the foot switch and one to the plug, so it's fairly simple to understand. And it's yeah, it's quite a nice addition to this particular cabinet. The light fitment is fairly self-explanatory. Obviously there's two lights here and they're external instead of internal, but certainly the lenses are quite a large size, matching the output of the actual LED lamp itself. Never known these units to go wrong. They can go on for many years, obviously replaceable, and they're relatively cheap anyway. So cutting the holes into the actual cabinet is pretty straightforward with a disc cutter on an angle, a disc on an angle grinder. So we have the door seal here, fairly easy to modify the pre-existing cabinet. There is a lip that's actually running along here. Simply follow the instructions and cut the steel lip away, so you're left with a one face of the metal all around. And simply add the rubber seal that's in the kit, which comes a little bit over length, and you can cut it and join it and make it a precision fit. It's got quite a bit of force on this clamp, but it does seal the door really quite nicely once it's latched up. As you can see, it's quite a nice fit. We haven't had any issues with the door leaking any further from this particular mod. So the air regulation valve is pretty self-explanatory. Clockwise for air, obviously into the machine. And obviously a PSI gauge at the front, you can clearly read, see your settings. So you can just open up the valve. There's a fair amount of noise comes out of this machine, but once the door is closed, it certainly is a lot quieter. Obviously the foot control controls the pump itself, so I'll show you that. And to add the air, about 20-30 psi on this test. Certainly very substantial. So it's quite a blast coming out of the nozzle. Got to hold on to it pretty well. So as you can see, quite an advance on the pre-existing sandblaster, which really is, I've got to be honest, not really fit for service, but it certainly is now. A quick walk round of the machine so you can see it as a whole. Very neat conversion, relatively easy to do if you haven't got any particular engineering experience. You just need basic tools. Give it probably a day, say a Saturday or whatnot, and you should be able to get this machine up and running relatively quickly. And walk around here, see the bottom. Okay, so do hope that was useful. Any questions, please fire them over. We'll be welcome to answer any questions. Thanks very much.